Podcast with Tek and Prem.
It's the Vet Alumni Podcast. I'm Tek, he's Prem, and the trade deadline is in the books for Major League Baseball. The Phils, well, look, the Phils made a big move, for Jhoan, Duran. Look.
He's an elite closer. You got an elite closer, and you kept all your elite prospects.
Let me preface
my
overall grade with
B+.
What I exactly B+.
That's what we agree on the Phils.
Yeah, B+ is what my grade is. But here's the thing, right? I was disappointed in the Thursday, right? I'm disappointed in the second day, the last day, the deadline
I think
day.
I can quell. I think I can help you feel better. But go ahead.
All right.
I know I can help you feel better.
Well, I made myself feel better because I brought myself down to earth a little bit. Here's the reality. At least I'm interested
because you
in
wanted
the
to
Phillies
keep
right
Miller
this
and
second.
Crawford, and if you got something better than Bader, that wasn't
I talked
happening.
myself. Well, here's what happened. Right? Is I went in. I believe I said it last week. I said it to everybody around last week that I was talking to that my ideal scenario for a win at the deadline would be two relievers, like a high-end one, like a high-end closer, and a better garbage than what we currently have with Daniel Robert and Seth Johnson and Joe Ross.
Those guys aren't going to see. They're not going to be on the postseason roster.
I know, but I'm thinking just right now we have some garbage, and I'd rather I want like a reliever kind of guy that's a middle-of-the-pack garbage guy that's better than our current garbage.
Okay.
You give me one of those guys.
Well, you got Robertson.
And a high-end reliever.
It's Robertson.
Correct.
Better than our current garbage, but still not great.
And I didn't need a bat. I said, just bring up Crawford. So I said that. So I can't now say, well, it's not a win at the deadline. No, if what my initial thoughts of what a win at the deadline would look like, then we did it. Because Robertson fills the better than Daniel Robert role.
Right.
And technically, you got the best closer in the game.
Yeah, so let me get to that, right? You know, you got an elite closer, and you kept all your elite prospects. Now
you're going to bring Crawford up now.
Say,
getting Bader leaves a pathway now for Crawford.
Exactly, and you got a situation where you don't have to part with Miller or Crawford. Now people will say, "Oh, you gave up Tate." He's honestly a few years away. And he's going to be good.
Yeah, tight. I know.
Oh, it's tight. Right.
Okay, well,
of course
we've been
it is.
saying the same thing.
So let me tell you a few things here, Tek. So following a deadline, after all the moves were made, and the Padres made a lot of moves, the Mets made a lot of moves too.
They did. They got better. The Padres got better.
The teams in the NL that you would say are competing with the Phils to win the pennant
they
all
got
better, right?
Yes, they did.
Even still, Vegas has the Phils as the second best odds to win it all, only behind the Dodgers, which, of course, the Dodgers, no matter what happened, the Dodgers are the favorite.
Move.
Well, they don't need to. They didn't need to. So that's number one. Number two, do you know that Harrison Bader, he's hitting 290 in July, first off.
Yeah, since he got back from the break, yes.
You know he's got a better OPS than Stephen Kwan, Mookie Betts, for the whole season. Teoscar Hernandez, Julio Rodriguez, Willie Adames, Louis Robert. These are all guys everyone was talking about.
No, I saw this.
And he's a Gold Glove defender.
He's a great defender.
He's like you combine. What I look at it as is you fused Marsh and Rojas into one guy with more power.
I look at it like I just think he's a better Kepler. He's what you hoped Kepler would have been.
He's more of a hard-nosed, old-school ball player, though. I liked Bader. When he was on the Mets, I said, man, I like this guy. Just something about the way he plays the game. He's kind of like got a thicker build. I think he's just a good baseball player, and he's not a rental. That's a mutual option next year. They got two guys that are not rentals.
It's rare that the mutual
Duran,
option
2 years of team control. That's knock it out the park.
That's why that was a phenomenal trade.
Wow, man.
Best trade of Dombrowski's tenure
really exciting.
with the Phillies.
It's really exciting.
That's the best one.
Now you go in with the best rotation and the best closer. Well, that's big, man. The best rotation and the best closer.
Well, you got to get to the closer. See, this is my problem.
They will.
All right,
That's silly. They will.
This was my problem on why I was so let down by Bader. It has nothing. My letdown and disappointment with the Bader acquisition has nothing to do with Harrison Bader. Okay, it had everything to do with I talked myself into Stephen Kwan. Okay,
well, so
I allowed myself.
I like Kwan too.
See, this is
how could you not?
I shouldn't do this.
But then that would mean you're letting go of Miller or Crawford.
I was prepared to let go of Miller, so I was.
I kind of was too.
I was hoping that, and really,
Painter for
but we shouldn't be prepared to get rid of Miller because, to be honest, I look at Stott and say, I'm beyond disappointed. I am devastated.
I think we know what Stott is
by
now.
what I'm devastated.
Yeah,
by that.
you know me, eternal optimist with baseball. I think we know what Stott is now, and
I
at
thought
best he's a
Stott
250 hitter at best.
I just thought he was a superstar, man. I'm so
Well,
devastated
he's a superstar
by
defender.
what he is.
He's a superstar defender. That
Yeah,
kid
but
can play second base.
I need him at the plate.
Gotta hit. You gotta hit.
I'm so let down by who he is that I look at him and now I see that they're platooning him and Sosa more than they did before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not settled at second base.
Right.
And that's why you need Miller. You need Miller because he might be the future at that spot.
Yeah, well, he could very well could be. I mean,
And
that's why they have him.
And they know that.
Yeah,
they know that. And they know,
sure,
and they also know that Nola ain't long for. Even though they just signed Nola, and he's going to be around. They know that.
His best years
Painter,
are behind him. I mean, Aaron Nola, he could come back and still, with a rested arm, he could be a tool in the postseason if they need a guy to come in for an inning or two in the middle innings.
Yeah, and they know that they're probably not bringing back Rangers, so they look at Painter as a guy that's like, well, we're hoping that Painter can at least be a number 3 for us in the next year and a half. And Crawford is a guy they got to bring up immediately, and I'm expecting
slot him into that 9 hole, and you got back-to-back leadoff hitters.
That's why, you know what's so funny? I was just saying that before we started the show. I was just saying that now you got to you put him in the 9 hole. You have like a 1B, but he's even though he's the 9th hitter. And when you go around that second time in the lineup and you see coming up, it's Crawford, Turner, Schwarber. That's gonna look like something.
It's going to look formidable, and especially if the kid can play. Because
you know what I can't stand? Stott was in a 9 hole the other night, and it didn't matter. Lazar comes in, he gives up 6-7 runs in that 7th inning. It didn't matter. Game was over.
Which, in Lazar's defense, that's his first bad outing in a while.
But it was a moot point.
Right.
But what I'm saying is earlier in the game, I think you either just went up 2-1 or it was 2-2. I don't remember. But you had a situation where you had 1 out, you had 2 men on, 1 in scoring position.
Right.
Stott comes up in that 9 hole and he grounds into a double play.
Yeah.
So you need Crawford to come up and get on base. Or because he hits a lot of doubles or hit a double and move the chains.
Just one note of caution is that I know the kid has played.
He hits ground balls.
I know he's played well at every level, but it's not the big leagues, man.
No, I expect him
to
come
into the big leagues and they struggle.
I expect him to struggle for about the first 12 to 15
They got to
games.
get him up here soon, though.
Yeah.
And Romano has got to be DFA'd. Kepler's got to be DFA'd tomorrow.
I would hope that by the time this show drops, that they'll announce that either Kepler or Rojas has been DFA'd.
It's probably not going to be till like August 15th.
I know, but I'm thinking I would love that to happen and that they call Crawford up.
They're going to keep Rojas just because it's smart to have his speed and his defense just in case. Because, look, you could have a defensive replacement late in the game where you leave Bader in center and you throw Rojas out and left.
Right.
If you're in a one-run game late, you do that. You do that because even though Marsh is pretty good with the glove.
Even though I'm thinking, if Crawford comes up, I think Crawford's in center, and I think you're platooning Marsh and Bader.
That's crazy, right? Well, all of a sudden they have a pretty good defensive scenario in the outfield. And you don't have to play Kepler
at least until Bohm gets back, you got Bader, hitting in the 6 hole. And that's
I don't know where they're going to put him. Maybe.
Right now, when Bohm gets back,
man.
he's in the 7 hole. Right. Right now, I would bat him 6. Plus, he's hot right now.
I'm curious. And what's very interesting is tonight the Phils set off a series with former Duran division rival Detroit,
right?
Who he's seen a lot as the Minnesota
closer.
Hope
you get to a 9th inning scenario where
I hope
get
it's
to see
4-3 tonight, and they get to play that music for that crowd.
That would be great.
But tomorrow, Skubal versus Wheeler. That's
what everybody wants to see.
That's when you're going to see Duran in a game like that.
Listen,
because that game's going to be 1-0 or 1-1 in the 9th inning.
I just want the offense. And all right, here's another thing, right? And I actually heard, I was saying it to my dad in like a sort of a similar point. And then I heard Elliott Shore Park say it, and I'm like, yo, I agree with that. The one time I agree with this dude. Bryce came out.
He's so hit and miss, that guy.
Right, of course. But Bryce came out and said something to Salisbury about, it would be very disappointing if they didn't make a move. We need to make a move. And if I'm the owner of the team, I'm thinking to myself, dude, why don't you just play better? Why doesn't the lineup? I got the fifth highest
Bryce
payroll.
has been on a tear.
But aside from now,
Realmuto been on a tear.
right? But if I'm the owner, I'm looking at the lineup and I'm going, guys, I got the fifth highest payroll in baseball.
Sure.
You want me to spend more money?
Well, yeah, it's all relative
now, as a
to
fan,
the other
I want
teams,
them to.
though.
As a fan, I can't stand Middleton
But
because he closed the wallet in the winter.
Here's the answer to that is the answer is, well, yeah, you're the fifth. There's four that are spending more than you, so.
Correct.
And they're the teams that are going to be competing for the chip.
But I want this current crop to play better.
Yeah, don't we all?
Stop underachieving.
You know
Start
why I
hitting
think,
and
though,
playing well.
You know why I think there's still the second best odds to win it all in Vegas' eyes, and Vegas knows way more than I do, way more than you do,
yes,
with all their analytics.
I get it.
I think it's because now this is going to be the fourth straight year that this group is in October together, and I think they're banking on that experience boost plus the rotation plus Duran being added. Because now you could presumably go, even if your starter goes 5 innings, right? You could go 5 innings with your starter if you have to. Say Suarez has a rough 5th inning or 6th. Then you're bringing in Luzardo in the 6th, Kerkering in the 7th, Strom in the 8th, and Duran in the 9th. It's pretty strong 6 through 9.
It's strong.
It's not as strong as what the Padres and the Mets have, though. Except for the 9th inning guy. We have the best 9th inning guy, but they might have the best collective back.
And the two guys that they got, the two bullpen guys the Mets got,
I know.
The Phillies are terrible against.
Against Helsley. You know what, man?
And that Rogers guy.
I hope
that Rogers guy, Phillies stink against that guy.
Well, everybody does. He had a weird delivery.
I
hope that it comes down to NLCS, Phils, Mets.
I do not.
Well, you want that.
I don't want the Mets in the NLCS.
I know. I want them to get beat by someone that shouldn't beat them and that we can handle.
Exactly.
Like, we can handle. I feel like it's weird how we have a winning record against the Cubs and the Dodgers the last couple seasons, but the Mets it's that weird division thing, man.
I'm not looking forward. See, here's the thing, right? And by the way, I'm listening to the radio and people are upset about, I think I heard the camera say it too, like we gave up too much. We gave up a lot.
It's preposterous. He's not a rental.
They were always going to move Mick Abel.
Yeah,
always.
That's why the value had to be boosted like it was.
Yes, they were always going to move Abel. They were all and
it's clear they're going to re-sign JT. It's clear now.
Yeah, and Tait, he wouldn't help you 3 or 4 years down the line.
Right, he was in single A.
Yeah, he's 18. I think there's a verbal agreement. I don't even know if there's a contract. There's like a verbal agreement with him.
You know how good that deal looks when you look at what the Padres gave up?
Yeah, and the Mets. The Mets gave up a bunch, too.
Padres gave up the number 3 prospect in all of baseball.
They did. They dealt 13 of their prospects. 13 prospects.
You know what, though? San Diego is like Milwaukee. They're both cursed in the postseason. It's why neither franchise has ever won a World Series. And
that's probably why the Padres went so hard.
The Brewers are going to come back to earth, and they will lose in the postseason because that's what they always do. I don't care. I know the teams are different. I get it. I'm not superstitious. I'm just saying something about that city.
The only thing that worries me about the Phillies is if they don't hit and they look atrocious like they've looked pretty much since June 1st. We're now 2 months. 2 months. This is exactly 2 months.
Since July 1st, they've been really good, though.
Yeah, but they're 500. For the last 2 months of baseball, they're a 500 club.
You know, the Dodgers aren't much better.
I hear you, but the Phillies, the first time...
Yankees are under 500 in that stat.
For the first time this year, they finished July under 500.
You know what, though? You got 2 impressive series wins against AL playoff teams, and that's what you want to see because those are teams that you'd be seeing in a potential World Series. Not the Red Sox, and they're a good team, but they're not a World Series team. But the Yankees added our guy Bednar.
Yes, they did. I saw they added Bednar, yes.
Well, I was keeping tabs on that. I would have been happy with him, honestly, but Duran. I didn't think we had a chance at Duran.
Yankees fans feel like they settled for Bednar because they couldn't get the other guys.
Crazy. They got somebody else, too.
Yeah, they got some pieces.
Plus, they still got Devin Williams.
Yeah.
Look, it's all about pitching. I mean, this deadline showed you it's all about pitching. Even though the Mariners got Suarez, really, Suarez was the only elite bat to move.
Yeah.
Out of the whole field. He was the only
And I didn't want Suarez because he's a rental. He's 34 years old.
And he's a strikeout guy. He's had a lot of power numbers. We have enough swing and miss guys.
Quan This is why I loved Quan. 116 hits,
Contact
38
hitter. I
strikeouts.
know.
The guy doesn't strike out.
He's like Arias. He's
Or no, he had
contact hitter.
114 hits. I looked at Suarez. Suarez had 116 strikeouts.
Yeah,
he had more strikeouts than Quan had hits.
He's like another Castellanos, just with more power.
Yeah, I
because
don't
he swings at a lot of stuff.
I
out
don't
of
want
the
that
zone.
guy.
No,
I don't want
no,
that
you need
guy.
contact guys. Now, I hope you're right. I hope they bring up Crawford, and if the kid can play, if he transitions from AAA to the big leagues, kind of like Otto Kemp did, but like one click up from what Otto has been.
Right.
Then look out.
And Kemp's been good.
Kemp's going to be on the postseason roster.
He has to be.
And, I mean, look.
He hits.
You know. I heard something else very interesting to me, which blew my mind. Since 1900, the beginning of the modern era of baseball, starting on August 1st, this season, the team with the best record, the Brewers, since 1900 has the lowest winning percentage of any of the best teams on August 1st. That tells you how close this league is. The best team in the league is separated by the seventh best team in the league by 3 games. So it's anybody's World Series to win, man. And when you got pitching, we know the postseason's all about pitching. If our starters are what are as advertised, then you can win games 2-1. You're going to have to because they're not going to give up runs. But if they have a game where maybe if Suarez or Sanchez get tagged for a 3-run shot early, you're going to have to score. But my point is, it's more wide open that you arguably than any season in the last 125 years.
I get it. I mean,
they have a good shot. They have a good shot.
I just, I look at June. They finished 14-13 in June. They finished 11-12 in July. A game below 5.
I hear you.
I'm just like, man, they're 500.
It's confounding.
2 months of 500 ball.
It's confounding. Sometimes I think clubs need like the pressure of, all right, it's win or go home. Now they've buckled under that though the last couple of years. But let me ask you this. Was the rotation, the top 3, as good as this year? It was close. But that's the difference. And then we have Alvarado is a great closer. I love Jose Alvarado. I know that he's getting a lot of crap for what he did, but overall, the guy's 12 strikeouts per 9 innings in his career. But he's no Duran.
No.
So, I look at those factors, and the uptick in pitching could be the difference if Crawford's a player. If Crawford's a player, and if they bring him up, they better bring him up.
They need a spark, and that's the one thing
do.
too. I'm like, damn, man, Bader doesn't give me a spark. Bader just is an upgrade from like a Kepler, situation.
Well, he's a right-handed bat who plays elite defense.
Yeah,
He's got a great OPS. He hits for a lot of extra
defense
base hits.
is one thing, but I don't factor in defense in anything. I'm like,
Well, you have to because it takes runs off the board.
I get it, and I just need a guy to be a good defender. I just need a good fielder, no matter where they're at.
You're more
him to be
concerned
good.
with offense. Absolutely.
I need the bat. I need the bat. And Bader, look, he's an upgrade from Kepler, and I like that. It doesn't give them that spark I need them to have, and I'm hoping that bringing up Crawford, his first major league at bat, gets on base or hits a double, and it's like yo, we're in. We're in now. We got a spark. We got the kid up. We got Bader in here instead of Kepler every day. It ups our defense. It ups our offense. Like now, let's go, guys. Let's get Castellanos is second in baseball with ending an inning with runners in scoring position.
Well, that's also
we need to turn that around.
That's also a symptom of just where he's hitting in the lineup.
I know.
He's in the money spot though. You got to deliver.
And he's not a money spot guy. I don't like that they got him there.
Well, he's been pretty clutch though in the postseason overall.
That's why I wanted Quan too, because I sold myself on like Quan pushes the lineup down in an interesting way to where now it's
now those become 3-run pops.
Now it's Quan, Turner, Harper, Schwarber. Now we're serious. We're serious.
I hear you, man. Well, look, if Crawford's a player, then it's not going to change as much as what you just said. It's still it's different.
It's different.
It's different. But if Crawford can play, man, he comes up and he hits right away, then look out because this team could make noise in the postseason. And I think they know that the writing's on the wall, that this is their group's last chance.
And one thing for me, right, is I'm gonna be honest, the last month of baseball has been background noise. I'm checking it feverishly. I'm in what's going on in the school. I'm watching at bats, but like it's still background music. Like I'm washing dishes. I'm vacuuming. I'm doing other things.
You
I'm
vacuum?
I vacuum. Why? Who does? We all vacuum. You don't vacuum.
You got a woman at home.
It doesn't matter. She vacuums more than I do, but I'll vacuum every now and then.
Every now and then I vacuum too.
I'm walking the dogs. I'm like doing other things. I'm making beats. I'm like,
and it's on. Yeah, I do the same
on.
thing. Sometimes I have it on the phone on my little stand in front of my
Me
computer.
too. That's exactly
and
what that's most of the time.
Doing.
That's what I'm doing. Like, you know, she wants to make
that's
plans.
going to change in September when baseball, every game becomes important to playoff position.
Right, but what I'm getting at is for the last month, I'm interested with them winning and them scoring runs and the pitching being, lights. I'm like interested peripherally, but like now I'm interested. I'm interested in what exactly Bader's going to bring. When are they going to bring Crawford up? I'm interested in if it's a tie game or a close game going into a ninth inning, and now they got the big time closer. Like now, I'm interested in what they're going to do now. I mean, because this is a tough month.
One other
coming
thing.
Up.
That is August. I've been saying that
tough month.
So August is the toughest month in the schedule. Well, it looks that way. One thing too that Duran does is when you got add a guy like that to a clubhouse, an already confident ball club, now that energy could be a little more synergy where they're even more confident. And that could have different effects, like psychological effects on the club.
Well, and I think they're thinking October because they looked at it. They looked at it like, look at what happened in the postseasons when we brought Kimbrel in, or we didn't have a true closer against the Astros in the World Series. And look what happened to us.
That World Series.
And it's like if you would have had, this big time closer that they haven't ever. I mean, to be honest, they haven't had a big time closer since Papelbon. Right.
Papelbon and Lidge are the only ones you've had the last 15-something years.
Yeah, and then Mitch Williams. Like in my lifetime, you've had 3 closers on the Phillies.
Jose Mesa was pretty good.
Okay, 4. I forgot about Mesa.
Mesa was pretty good. But that was a lost era of Phillies ball.
Right. We're talking since I'm 12 years old, they've had 4 closers.
Yeah.
Like this is the first time. So he's number 5, this guy. So Dombrowski saw that they lacked a big time closer in October in big games that mattered the most. They didn't have a guy they can count on.
No doubt about that. Well, guess what? Now they got a guy that touches 105 on the speedometer.
I just hope, because my dad's funny. He said, you're going to see a ninth inning where it's either tied or maybe we're down a run or maybe we're up a run. You're going to see a ninth inning soon. And he goes to Robertson. You're going to see it.
No. It's no. Duran's the guy. Well, if they're down, maybe because he's a closer. But if it's a tie game or we're ahead, he's coming in.
He's coming in.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm like, just Thompson's going to go one of these nights where maybe there's 3 of those situations in a row, and he used Duran twice in a row, maybe, and then he'll go to we'll go to Robertson.
Except during the postseason, he's every time.
Yeah, I can't. Robertson, I want to see in the middle of the game, 6th, 7th inning. I do not want to see Robertson late.
No,
maybe
I think,
8th.
I think in the postseason, when we get to October, unequivally, it's Kerkering, Strahm, Duran.
Yeah,
7, 8, 9.
It's
got to be.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
I no longer ever want to see where you're running out of guys and you have to go to Daniel Robert or Seth Johnson. Ever, I never want to see that. Ever.
No. Please, no.
So this is we're talking deadline. We got Haley Taylor Simon coming on with us, and she's phenomenal.
She absolutely.
And I know I've been following her tweets the last couple days, and she's been on edge just like me. Yeah, she shared the same thing. I wanted Quan. I talked myself into Quan, and I saw she did too.
Yeah, but you also wanted to keep your prospects, and
I did.
Have both.
I did.
You can't have both.
You can't have both ways. No. All right, so we're gonna hit the vet line in a minute, but first, brought to you by the Fairless Hills Academy of Music. It's time for VetPhact.
This is a VetPhact.
Well, Tek, August 1st, 1980, I love going to World Series years.
Yeah.
The Phillies would host Pete Rose's former club, the Cincinnati Reds, and they would handle them in a very close game by a score of 3-1. 37,409 fans packed the Vet as they watched pitcher Bob Walk go 8 innings. He scattered 10 hits, but he went 8 innings with 5 Ks, and he walked 4 batters. But he somehow only gave up 1 earned run, Tek.
Wow.
What a weird case. 10 hits allowed, 4 walks, only 1 run. You have players on the Phils like Bake McBride with a multi-hit game, Lonnie Smith with a multi-hit game, Manny Trio with a multi-hit game. They left 6 guys on base to Phils. They were only 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position, but they did enough to win. You know who's on this Reds team, Tek? Ken Griffey Sr.
Oh,
And he was actually picked off when he was on first base.
Wow.
Picked off. Johnny Bench was on this club.
Woo.
This wasn't a bad Reds club. It was kind of at the tail end of their Big Red Machine years.
Yep.
You know, Rose had left. They finished this game with a record of 53-50. The Phils at this point, who went on to win the World Series, were only 53-46. So they no doubt had some 500 months, Tek, just to make a note.
Yeah.
But on this day,
Yeah.
it wouldn't matter. Bob Walk improved to it with a record of 8-1 on the year. Tug McGraw notched his 10th save, the man who threw the last pitch of the season.
Yes.
In 1980. Iconic moment. There you have it. Veteran Stadium.
I wonder where the Phillies were in the division.
You know, that's a good question. 53-46. I mean, at that point, the Pirates were in the division. Pirates were good because they won the World Series in '79.
Pirates were in the division.
They were. They were in the division up through the 90s, if you recall. We were kids.
Yeah.
But they were the defending World Series champs because they won it in '79 with the All in the Family thing they had going.
Wow.
What a division that was, man.
That was a crazy division.
Even the
Pirates
Expos
in.
were kind of competitive back then.
Yes.
So, yeah, there you have it, Tek. August 1st, the heat of summer, 1980. 2 months prior to the Phillies winning their first World Series, they beat the Reds 3-1.
Wow. As we shift over to birds.
I can't wait, man.
Training camp. I mean, this is
almost like, what can we say?
What are we, one Thursday away from preseason football?
6 days.
6 days
Gonna get a lot of Tanner McKee. Give me Tanner McKee. Give me Kyle McCord. Give me some Will Shipley. Let me see Jhoan Campbell play a series.
Campbell makes plays every day in camp.
Oh, man.
Jalix Hunt. Trotter's been good in camp.
I heard good things about Trot, yeah.
Ty Robinson's been a little bit of a letdown. We'll see if he can get it together.
It's so early, though. I mean,
I know.
it's so
they're wearing
early.
shells and stuff.
Yeah.
But
light pads.
yeah, it's there's not a whole lot. I mean, I guess the only storyline to watch is Adoree Jackson, and why I say that is Vic Fangio's comments threw me a little bit. He said he was asked about Adoree Jackson, about something about is this the place where he shows?
Is this where he'll be?
Yeah, is this where he shows up? And Vic Fangio was like, well, look, Titans, his contract was up. They had an opportunity to re-sign him. They didn't. He was with the Giants. They had an opportunity to re-sign him. They didn't.
Almost saying this is like his last chance.
Like, yeah, is he going to show us who? He's either going to show us, and then he said he's either going to show us who he is or who he isn't.
Well, that's true for anybody.
I know, but it was followed up.
It's a motivational tool.
It was followed up by a comment he made that, he didn't. They asked him if he had watched film previously on Adoree Jackson, and he said, "No, I didn't watch any film. This was a signing. How he wanted to make, how he wanted to sign him.
Oh,
I didn't have any say in it.
He's not a Fangio guy.
Exactly.
Ah.
So this is
I heard parts of that press conference.
This is the only concerning tidbit, because this is what I actually love about Vic. I think that he got a bad rap in Miami because Miami's soft, and I felt like they didn't like to hear the truth. And Vic, things that Sirianni and like even Patullo, guys come out and they'll lie for the sake of the team.
Yeah, they don't. Plus, you don't want to badmouth guys publicly. I mean, there's a team respect thing in a locker room.
Vic isn't necessarily badmouthing a guy. He's just telling you the truth,
which is rare in this industry.
And like, I really like it and respect it.
Yeah,
it's refreshing to me to hear Vic go, I didn't really watch any tape on him. To be honest, this was a guy, how he wanted to sign, no matter what I said, how he was going to sign him, and how he signed.
Telling it like it is, like you said. I mean, that's all Vic has ever done. His whole career is tell it like it is.
Right. He told it like it is about Bryce Huff last year. I mean, he told it like it is. He was, very raw with it. He gave it to you straight up, no filter, and that's what I like, man. I like a guy that's going to tell you the truth.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of coach speak. We dealt with Andy Reid here for many years.
Right. It's sometimes
Jim Johnson told it like it is, too, though.
He did.
Something about
You're right.
defensive guys.
Yeah,
Bill
man.
Parcells.
I don't want to hear nonsense.
Rex Ryan, Buddy Ryan. These are defensive guys.
Right.
It's something about the role. Robert Saleh.
And
these guys tell it like it is.
Even to some extent, Belichick. Never wanted to say anything, but that was him telling you a lot by saying nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like his face said it all.
He can't say nothing to his girlfriend though.
Right, yeah, she's in.
That won't go over.
Right, she's in college. I don't know. But I look at Vic. I look at this defense, and I'm like, that's why this defense is the way they are. They're good because they're forced to be good.
Yeah.
Vic's like, you're either going to be good or you're not going to play.
You're not going to play. He doesn't care what your name is.
No.
What kind of previous reputation you had. It's about what he's seeing now.
Right, and I think that there's a couple things to watch, there, and there's another concern too that I have, but we'll stick to the defense 1 second more. I feel like they might not know who the other safety is. It looks like it's Cooper DeJean a lot. Then it's Sidney Brown, and I know Makuba got hurt, so he's been out.
That. Yeah, he's gonna. That's a shame because a guy like that.
But he'll be back. Makuba will be back.
Yeah, but you need every rep when you're new.
I know.
You're coming from the college ranks. You need every rep. But I think he's the kind of talent that he can still be productive, kind of like Cooper, kind of like Quinyon. Didn't Coop miss time last preseason?
He missed almost the entire preseason. He came in the last preseason game.
That shows you the mental fortitude. I think Makuba is a similar make, but the jury's out.
The jury's out, and, right now, I don't know. Justin Simmons is out there. They might have to go grab a veteran before.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. He knows Fangio's system.
Here's the thing, right?
Be cheap.
I've heard a lot of people compare it to when they traded for CJGJ and they did it in the second week of August.
Way different.
Here's the difference is
way different.
CJGJ was in camp.
Well,
he was in another camp.
CJGJ is a current Pro Bowler.
Yeah, and he's younger, and he was in that camp.
Yeah.
He went from one camp to ours.
Right.
So Justin Simmons is coming off the street. So
if
you're going to
bag of Cheetos in his hands,
if you're going to make that move, you got to make that move after this first preseason game, the next day. You got a week from today.
Well, you know what though,
to make that decision.
Howie has earned our trust. I think any move he makes, they're going to vet him. They're going to vet what he is.
It's going to take a couple weeks to get him ready.
It's going to take a physical
because a physical, and then
a workout.
Once he gets on the practice field, it's going to take a couple weeks to rev him up because he's going to end up being the starting safety on week 1.
Maybe. I mean, I think they have a significant belief in Sidney Jones.
I don't know.
I think they do. I think they're kind of
Sidney Brown.
Sidney Jones. Oh wow.
Yeah. I did that
Brown.
Too. By the way, I've done it. Sidney Brown.
No,
but I look.
That's their MO is to give guys a chance.
I think they like Brown. I don't know if they view him as a starter. Same with Ringo. Ringo got baked, and Adoree Jackson started every practice for the next 4 practices. And then Ringo started to practice. And Ringo actually had a decent day. And then the next day after that, it was Adoree. So they're going back and forth there. And, they're doing the same thing at safety. I'm not 100% on where they're at safety, where they're at cornerback too. And here's my other concern. This is actually my main concern, but I'm making it the second concern for the sake of the show.
Okay.
The defense is winning every practice. The defense is winning. If this is a defense that has a few positions that they're not sure on yet.
That's a good sign. That means they're improving.
Well, for the defense.
Yeah.
But what does it say about
the
well-oiled offensive machine that's coming back?
They're playing a Super Bowl defense that just shut down Patrick Mahomes.
Well, but it's not the same defense.
But a lot of the key pieces are the same.
I mean, Carter was out for most of these practices.
That means you got a lot of depth. Look, we know what the Birds are going to be when it comes time for real game day. We know what they're going to be. I don't get too overly worried
I'm concerned
about early training camp stuff.
No. I'm just saying it just seems like maybe the installation of this, and I would figure the offense would be
you're
the
going
same.
to Patullo, right. Okay.
And I don't know that it's just Patullo, but from what I'm hearing, they're running just as much as they did last year, and they're not. I thought, okay, and maybe they'll do it. I don't know. Usually camp carries over. We'll see. I thought that they would lean on a passing game a step more than they did last year because, first of all, you don't want to run Barkley into the ground. And second, you're expecting Hurts to come back in, pay attention to a little more of those details, and be a step better because he needs to be a step better.
He will be. I've heard that he's actually been pretty sharp, too.
Yeah. I expect him to be. I thought all along going into this year, I've been saying that this is going to be his best season as a pro.
I think so. I mean, when you win the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl MVP, and you lead your team to the most points in the championship rounds in the history of the league, and you're still disrespected.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, it's like, dude, what does this dude have to do? He could throw a ball 99 yards, and they'd say
he has to win it again.
They'd say, it wasn't a good throw. It was just long.
He has to go back to back, obviously. That's what they need to see.
It's going to be so sweet when he does. I think the Birds are going to win it again. I think that they're just going to be better. I think they're going to be a better overall football team than they were when they won it all.
Wow. That's a tall order.
I think that's what they're going to be.
Well, we'll be talking about it next week for sure. Because we're the Bengals. They got the Bengals on Thursday night.
You're going to see a lot. You're not going to see Hurts or Burrow.
No. We don't need to see those guys.
Right.
I'm more interested in some of these, like what we're saying.
Yeah, I want to see the young guys.
I want to see Makuba get on the field.
I want to see Ty Robinson get a sack.
I want to see the depth guys. I want to see Booker back in there. I want to see, Ajomo's supposedly having a great camp. Let's see what Ajomo looks like.
He's going to play a lot. Trotter's going to play a lot.
I want to see Trotter.
You don't want Jahad Campbell to play too much, though, because I think you got to protect him a little bit health-wise. One series for Jahad.
Just to get some NFL action under his belt.
Man, for sure. It's exciting times, man. It's exciting times.
So
here we are. We're here for all of it.
Exactly. And we'll have more to talk about next week because we'll have seen. I'll be taking notes. I will be.
Oh, I know you will.
I'll be looking at everything and evaluating, and I want to come back in and analyze.
Break it all down.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. So I see the red light blinking. Let's hit the vet line.
And now it's the vet line.
Why don't you answer your phone?
Joined now on the vet line by Haley Taylor Simon. You know her. She wears many hats.
Yes, she does.
Especially a hockey hat, which we'll get to the Fly Guys.
We will.
How's it going?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. We're excited about baseball, football, hockey, of course. But right now, the pressing issue is the Phillies trade deadline wrapping up. We got an elite closer and a right-handed bat that there's mixed feelings on. How are you feeling about what Dombrowski did at the deadline?
I mean, I'm really happy that the Phils have their closer right now in Jhoan Duran. This was a player that this team needed. After everything that went down with Jose Alvarado, you have to think, how will the team be successful in the postseason? And getting Duran, I mean, he's young, he's 27, has a lot of time left in his career, and we now have him for at least a couple of years, so I feel really good about that move.
Yeah, for sure. So I take it you are kind of on the fence with the fact that he can get a bigger bat than Harrison Bader?
I mean, Bader's had a better season this year than his previous season, so I'll give, him that. But it's just so frustrating to me because I'm not saying that Bader's a bad player and I'm not trying to put pressure on him, but he wasn't the player that would have maybe helped this team. And you saw teams like the Mets get a lot better, and that should be very concerning for all Phillies fans right now. And somebody actually asked me on X, and they said, Hale, who's going to be the players on the team that are going to get runs for the Phils besides Schwarber? And I'm like, well, you should be counting on guys like Harper, Turner, Stott, Bohm, Marsh, but you can't consistently count on some of those players.
Nope.
And again, they're big enough names to where they should be able to produce runs.
Yeah, what do you need to see from them over the last, 60 days of regular season baseball to feel confident that they actually are the second most likely team to win it all? Because Vegas has them second most likely to win the World Series, not just get to it. But what do you need to see to believe that?
I need to see Bryson Stott play the way that he did in 2020-22.
Yes.
The problem is that I know Harper can turn it on when they get closer to the postseason. I know that Bryce can. I know Schwarber's going to still be consistent, but Castellanos last year, he played really well against the Mets in the postseason. So for me, I'm not as concerned about him, but it's the guys like Alec Bohm and Bryson Stott, Marsh, and Kepler needs to just be benched. I can't see Max Kepler
released. Yeah. DFA.
Well, it was funny. I was actually talking to a friend about that. I think that Kepler, just keep him on the bench. I like looking at him. No, but not because of that. He's the only German player in the league, and I speak German, so I have a soft spot for Maxi Kepi. But no, overall though, I need to see them hit the ball and don't try to swing at the first pitch. We've seen that too many times. Also, you don't need to go have a home run every time you're up at bat. Just try to get a single, a double. Is that crazy that I'm asking for them just to try to be a little bit smarter at the plate?
No, play baseball.
Yeah, get on base,
We
move
have
the runners.
Yeah.
I agree.
And they have spurts where they do that. They do have spurts.
It's inconsistent.
I know.
I just wish it was more consistent.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is that I think Rob Thompson kind of just is a little bit too lackadaisical when it comes to being aggressive. And you can switch up the lineup as many times as you can, but it's going to still be the same outcome if you don't say to the guys, hey, this needs to change. Stop with this BS and call them out on it. And I know people say, oh, well, he's not that kind of guy. Be that manager.
Yes.
I cannot stand people excusing Rob Thompson because he's more soft-spoken. You need to be aggressive. You're never going to win a World Series with a manager who doesn't begin being aggressive. I'm not trying to curse on this, so I'm trying to be very, calm and relaxed.
I agree with you.
But I feel like I'm going on Ricky Batalico right now.
Ricky Bo, unfiltered.
Listen, I agree with that. I agree. Rob Thompson, to me, can be a problem sometimes. He's passive. Is the decisions he makes when it comes to pitching it just kills me.
He's really calm, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get why people like him, especially if the pitchers. I mean, you don't. If you go to the bullpen, one of the bullpen players, and this is everybody, so I'm not going to name everybody, but they don't need to be in multiple innings. Let them pitch one inning and then next.
Yes.
Well, that's what it will be in the postseason now. I mean, with Duran,
Right.
you can do that. You can go 6, 7, 8, 9 if you wanted to go, for example, I don't know, Banks, Kerkering, Strom, Duran.
He pushes it. Like Banks will come in, give you a lights out inning, and then he'll bring him back out.
Taylor Banks is underrated.
I know,
He's
but
underrated.
it's like sometimes it's a recipe for disaster. It's like, don't push a guy just because he gave you that good inning, that lights out inning. Go to somebody else now.
Hey, they win more than they lose, though.
Well,
That's
not
what
since
you gotta
June
do.
1st. They're 500 since June 1st.
I don't get how they are where they are, honestly.
Pitching. It's all pitching.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, though, there's so many problems. And then I have people that don't follow the Phillies. They say to me, oh, well, your team's doing really well. And I'm like, okay, that's cool for the regular season, but the postseason's a whole different ballgame. And the inconsistencies that I'm seeing now, it makes me very nervous for October.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, well, shifting now to a team that we'll be excited for in October.
Real quick. I saw you talked yourself into Stephen Kwan like I did. Are you disappointed?
Yeah.
And what were you willing to give up for Kwan?
That's a good question because I came to the conclusion that I was willing to give up Justin Crawford.
Really?
I know.
Really?
And he
Tek doesn't like that.
I was willing to give up Miller. I was willing to move on from
Miller, yeah. I mean, the only reason why I say Justin Crawford is because I suspect that the asking price for Kwan was a lot higher than we all thought.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm really curious to kind of see what that was if they do announce kind of what teams were kind of getting asked to pay.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I really like Crawford, and I know Andrew Painter is untouchable, and no, you should never try to trade Andrew Painter. But I mean, I really liked Kwan.
It would have slotted in nicely. Yeah, he would have slotted in nicely.
I told
that was a
myself,
player
you know what? When I first heard about Kwan, I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. And then I started to look at his contract. I started to watch some more film and be like, wow, the guy's an exciting player. He's one of the best leadoff hitters. It's like he can push the lineup down in an intriguing way. I sold myself on Stephen Kwan. And Bader is a good move. And I was so disappointed in the Bader move, but it's not Bader's fault. You know what I mean?
No,
like he's a good player. I'm not. It's like I was mad at Bader and I got emotional about Bader, and it's not even Bader's fault. I just talked myself into Kwan so hard.
Yeah, it is what it is.
The thing is, with Kwan, he's everything that Trey Turner should have been with being a leadoff. And I will die on that hill. And if Trey Turner, and I know he's been better this season, so I'm not trying to knock Trey down. But if he just performed consistently as the leadoff, then maybe we wouldn't have these concerns.
Right, because Quan doesn't strike out. Trey does. No. Trey strikes out.
And Quan is so smart with his approach at the plate, which is why I suspect that the asking price was as high as it is.
Yeah,
because,
Cleveland knows.
He's an elite player, but at the end of the day, I'm just hoping right now they call up Justin Crawford and stop with this baloney.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we want to see done. So
soon, now.
Moving on to the world champs, though, what have you been hearing out of Birds Camp?
Oh, man, it's been awesome out of Eagles training camp. I actually was listening to Jhoan Campbell speak last Saturday. And, man, this is a guy that I am telling you is going to have a great season. Mm-hmm. He wasn't really able to practice in full prior to the first couple practices. Now he is. And, he's playing the linebacker position. And he said, I can play any side. He said, this is my God-given abilities.
Yes.
So I like that. My favorite player, Jordan Davis, big man Jay Davis. Well, maybe he's not as big. Lost 26 pounds from the Super Bowl to now.
That's dangerous.
He's
going to be dangerous.
Yeah.
He's confident. He said that losing this weight, he feels like he even got stronger, which is something that you want to hear from a defensive tackle. You want to hear the defensive tackles say that they're strong and they're ready to go. But, there hasn't been anything negative out of camp, guys. It's been all positive.
Yeah.
I worry about that. I'm concerned about that.
It's the reverse theory.
That's right. I'm concerned that everything is sunshine and rainbows at training camp now.
Well, one thing isn't always sunshine and rainbows with the Flyers. Now, I know you're a big Flyers girl.
How do you grade what they did this offseason?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Good call.
Nicely, maybe a C+.
Oh, wow. Okay, not great.
I feel the same way.
We can separate it. If we look at the draft, I'll give the draft an A. That was good. Now, if we look at the moves that they made, I'll give it a C+, only for the fact that these are players, a lot of these players, like a Dvorak, they're not going to be guys that are going to be on the team for a long time. They're all older players. So you're not going to get longevity out of them. And I think that the only reason why Danny signed these players was purely just to help out the younger guys on the team. And the Flyers also don't have a lot of money to spend right now.
Yeah.
And I wrote an article and I said that this team not going to the playoffs, but this will be the last season of the Flyers not going to the playoffs because they're going to have money next offseason.
Right.
They can get that franchise goalie.
That's crucial.
It's so smart, honestly, and maybe I'm the only one that thinks this way, they didn't spend money on a franchise goalie this offseason because it gives them time to evaluate who they want to have. And I know that sounds a little silly, but there are so many young goalies in the league right now, and I'm telling you, the Flyers will have money. They'll have different players and assets that they can trade potentially. And plus, if you look at free agency next season, it's going to be the most star-powered free agency in NHL history.
Wow.
So it's so smart that they're saving this money and their assets for next offseason.
Well, you got me excited about hockey.
Yeah, because I got to be honest. I feel a little better after hearing what you just said because I hate what they did at goalie this year. This guy they brought in, you know what I hate that the Flyers have been doing now for going into we're in the second decade of this, maybe even longer to be honest. I hate goalie 1A, goalie 1B. I hate
it's so stupid.
You just want a guy. You want a real
Flyers
guy.
don't do it. They were close with Hart, but if I'm being objective, I don't think Hart was as good as people think he was.
Well, never really got the chance to develop as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, Hart would have been in his prime if he wasn't been removed. But another thing that, what frustrates me as somebody that's a credentialed media member, all 5 seasons, this is going to be my 5th season covering the team, I have never experienced covering them in the playoffs.
Well, hopefully that changes soon. They were close a couple years ago.
But isn't that crazy? When you think about it?
Though. This is the last season of them not being a playoff team.
Yeah,
they're going to finish 7th seed in the Metro. Yeah. They're going to go above the Penguins. But, it's funny because people, they're like, oh, what if they surprise you? At the end of the day, and a team that I like to compare is the Chicago Blackhawks. completely different level right now, but they have a star player, obviously, of Connor Bedard. And the reason why I say that is Matvei Michkov could have even a better season next season than he did his rookie season. He led the NHL in rookie goals, which is a huge accomplishment. But Michkov told me that he wasn't, happy about how he played, which to me makes me feel good because I'm like, oh, he can do more. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But you can still have players grow, develop. You have the Olympics in February. I'm suspecting Travis Konechny, Travis Sanheim will be playing for Team Canada. So you have players that have the ability to do really great things, and that should just motivate them for when they do have all the puzzle pieces put together the following season.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are your thoughts on Rick Tocchet as the head coach?
I like Tocchet. One of my first questions at his introductory press conference was about the power play, actually. And he said that, it's going to be different this season, that they're going to change it completely. And this is a huge focus point for the Philadelphia Flyers. And I spoke in depth, actually, to Keith Jones and Danny Briere about hiring a former Flyer. I know a lot of fans were concerned about that.
Right.
But the way that Tocchet is, what he did in Vancouver, especially Arizona, he's such a smart coach, and he knows how to approach the players. And I was around Tortorella. Now, my thoughts on him personally, I'm not going to share because I think him off the bench is a lot different than how he is on the bench. But on the bench, he didn't really connect with the players that well, except Matvei Michkov, ironically, because Michkov likes that harder approach. But when you lose the locker room, you lose the team. And Tocchet's not going to lose the locker room. If anything, he's going to make it stronger.
Yeah, I feel like he'll be a player's coach for sure.
Yeah. And that's what the Flyers need, but he's also tough as hell. Like, he's also not going to let anything slip by him. So you have a coach that's going to make you take accountability, but at the end of the day, he's not going to just scratch you and not tell you why. He's going to say, hey, I'm scratching you because you sucked on, this drill or whatever the reason is, and he's going to tell you to your face and not be passive aggressive.
Yeah, that's how guys get better. Haley, we appreciate your insight on the Phils, on the Birds, and, of course, on the Fly guys. And hopefully when we catch up again, we're talking about a World Series appearance. Yeah,
playoffs. We got to get you back on for the playoffs.
Definitely.
I said they're going to have 89 wins, and so I'm hoping that I'm wrong on that.
Well, yeah, we're hoping to have 91, I think, at least, right?
I'm hoping, and then I said they were going to get on the divisional, so I'm hoping I'm wrong. Like, I want to be wrong. I think that's the thing that people, they sometimes look at my Twitter account, and they're like, you hate the Phillies. I'm like, no, I love them. I just have my expectations really low because of the outcome from last season.
Yeah, and plus after 2023, it's reasonable. They have to show and prove at this point.
Now, the Eagles, I did say they're going to win the Super Bowl last year. They did, and I got the tattoo. So I'm hoping to get an addition to the tattoo this year. So
the greatest single game in Eagles history, in my opinion, is Super Bowl 59.
Oh, man. I might watch that tonight, honestly.
I like it. Do it in remembrance of the greatest single day in the franchise, and we hope to catch up with you again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
That's Haley Taylor-Simon. She's tremendous, but we have picks. And
getting down to the nitty-gritty of the baseball season.
Let's hit it. Prem's picks.
It's time for Prem's picks.
These games are a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your children's unborn children on these games.
Prem's MLB picks. How'd we do last week?
Well, I had a 1-2 week, so I had a 2-1 week the week prior, now a 1-2 week. Doesn't matter because overall, I'm sitting with a record of 20-13.
There you go.
Respectable by any metric. I did have the Rangers beat the Braves in Texas last week, but the Padres somehow lost to Mikolash and the Cardinals.
Yep.
And the Red Sox did not pull off the upset of the Dodgers, which is fine. That was kind of that's a coin flip right there.
Yes.
But this week, I have 3 more locks for you, Tek.
There we go. Locks.
So last week, like I said, I had the Padres over the Cardinals in St. Louis and was wrong. This weekend, the Cardinals go to San Diego with the newly bolstered pen of the Padres.
Yep.
And I think this time around, on this Friday night with Nick Pivetta on the mound in San Diego at Petco Park, the Padres do get the win. They'll be going up against Cardinals starter Mike Liberatore, who's not horrible, 4.04. But, I take a look at how he is as a pitcher, and Manny Machado's going yard off of him. You have Jake Cronenworth is 500 off of him. Maldonado's 500 off him. They just traded for Merrill. No, I'm sorry. They didn't trade. They traded for Merrill Kelly, too, right? Didn't they trade for Merrill Kelly?
Did they?
They have Jackson
They traded for everybody.
They have Jackson Merrill, though. Jackson Merrill, the kid who's really good with the glove. He's 500 off of this kid. I think that they're going to do enough to get the win. No one really has great numbers against Pivetta. Arenado is the most at-bats against him. He's hitting 250. Give me the Padres to beat the Cardinals in San Diego.
Lock.
Next, we have a pretty interesting game. The Marlins actually have been pretty good baseball club overall in the second half of the season, even dating back to before the All-Star break. It's very uncanny how some of these teams do this. The Yankees traveled down to Florida with Carlos Rodon on the mound, going against a pitcher, get this, Tek, whose last name is Junk. Are you familiar with Jansen Junk?
I'm not.
Jansen Junk will be the Marlins starter tonight. He's got a 5-2 record with a 3.28 ERA. But I think the fact that the Yankees are invigorated, they got some players at the deadline. They also added Ryan McMahon, who's a pretty good bat as well.
Yes, he is.
A little before the deadline, but adding Bednar. I think the Yankees go down, and they take care of business against the upstart Miami Marlins. And I think that could be a game that kind of gets away from the Marlins early, because I think the Yankees are going to be invigorated to try to catch the Toronto Blue Jays.
And that's a lock.
Lastly, Tek, we have an interesting game in the NL Central. Two teams that either traded a lot of guys or there was a lot of talk about them trading guys. The Twins will travel to Cleveland.
Man, they got nobody. They got
to play the Guardians.
They got Clemens and a bunch of guys.
Speaks right to my point. When a team loses a bunch of guys, right? Guys that are key, guys that matter to the clubhouse, the other guys are going to feel invigorated to try to step up and show everybody in their city, hey, we're still here. We still can win games for this club. We don't care that we're going up against one of our division rivals on the road. We're going to win it to show our fan base and the major leagues that we can win without all the pieces that we just lost. And I think that psychology is why the Twins go into Cleveland and beat the Guardians. I mean, they have their best pitcher on the mound. They have Joe Ryan taking the mound. He's got a 2.28 ERA with 137 Ks and 121 innings. I mean, Ryan, it's surprising to me that nobody tried to go after Ryan. Maybe they did, but he's probably under team control. I take a look at Cleveland versus him. Nobody's numbers pop off the page at me. I mean, even Ramirez, their best hitter, 26 ABs against Ryan, only a 192 average. Jose Ramirez, one of the best extra base hitters in baseball. He can't hit this guy. Steven Kwan, guy we've been talking about, he's only got a 211 average. A guy that's one of the better hitters in baseball against Joe Ryan. So the Twins going in with their best pitcher on the mound after losing some pieces. Give me the Twins to beat the Guardians in Cleveland. So to recap, Tek, we got the Padres, who just loaded up their bullpen at the deadline over the Cardinals at home in San Diego. The Yankees traveling down to sunny Florida to beat the pesky Marlins. And the Twins showing everybody we can still play baseball in Cleveland against the Guardians. This has been the next edition of Prem's MLB Picks.
And with that, we'll have the Birds. We'll have our first appearance of the new Phils.
Oh, man.
And we will see you next week.
Vet Alumni.